Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is our press conference from Unai Emery for Aston Villa v Leeds United under the lights at Villa Park. So some team news for Leeds. Bamford is back in the squad. Sinisterra is not quite ready and Somerville is out. We've got John McGinn out for Aston Villa. We've got Matty Cash is a doubt. Dendonker's suspended. And Diego Carlos is still 1 to 2 months away. And Augustinsen's out with his ankle as well. So let's get straight into the press conference from Unai Emery. He spoke about Alex Moreno. We know him in La Liga. He's a very important player. And I think that's something that we're learning from players that have played for Emery, that players that have played against Unai Emery's sides, how much respect they have for him. And I know that Unai Emery was integral to getting Alex Moreno to join Aston Villa. Emery's gone on to say, we want to try and add competitive players to give us more balance in the squad. We will only add if they really improve the team. And that's what every Villa fan's been saying. We've all been saying that we only want players that are going to come into Aston Villa and improve the first team. And then in turn, what that means is that the players that are moving back onto the bench or in the matchday squad should in turn improve the squad. So I think everything works hand in hand. We know that he's working with Guendouzi as well to try and get him into Aston Villa. And again, when Emery won the Europa League at Villarreal, Guendouzi did a tweet saying, how much respect he has for Emery. So I think everybody knows how much of an elite manager Emery is, and if Villa come in for Emery, if Villa come in for you, then Emery wants you, and Emery really wants to work with you. And I just think it's win-win for everybody, because now we've got an elite coach at Aston Villa who the players all respect. He went on to say that the players are open to working with their application, and they are committed to what we're trying to do. Everything we are demanding of them, they are doing. And I think that reading between the lines must be what's happening on the training pitch and the application of the players behind the scenes. I know we've had a few little blips recently, but, it's great to hear that the players are really on board with what Unai Emery is trying to instill at Aston Villa. He went on to speak about the defeat at Stevenage, saying that the match we played was unusual. We want to learn. And the first response is tomorrow. Unai, it's not that unusual for us, mate. We've been used to watching stuff like that for a very, very long time. So when you talk about the things that you're demanding, then I'd love us to stop doing stuff like that. That's one of the things that I would love to eradicate from Aston Villa. So if we can work on that, then I'll be very, very happy. He spoke about what he wants to create at Aston Villa. I want to build a team, a family. We have to be together in the tough moments, the crazy moments, and we have to be positive, helping each other. And this is what I've wanted from Aston Villa for a very long time, for the players to be involved, the manager to get the club, the manager to get the fans love the manager, the fans love the players, and everything is just one big happy family, and everything works together. And I think Emery gets us. I think Emery gets the club, and I think he's doing his best to eradicate things that have been not quite right. And I think he knows everything that he's got to do. And I think he's learnt from his time at Arsenal. He's learnt at time at PSG. He's learnt his time at Villarreal and Sevilla. And he's got a vast amount of experience of going into different clubs, and they've all been at different stages. So hopefully, we are a club that needs help. We are a club that needs bringing together. And I think if he can do that with the fans, then I think the fans will be on board. And I think the fans are massively on board. You saw Emery's reaction after Stevenage when, he looked directly in the camera, and, he was sorry and he was angry and he was upset, because already I'm starting to see a bit of a passionate side from Emery at Villa as well. And I think that's going to work hand in hand. He spoke about Emery Martinez. His career is amazing. He's so ambitious, and everything that has happened is because he deserves it. And then he went to speak on about we have to connect with our supporters at home and away. We have to create positive energy between us. And I think that's important that he's touching on the home support. He's touching on the fans that, yeah, it's down to the players. It's down to Emery. It's down to them to put on a show. But it's also down to us to have a responsibility to make the atmosphere good at Villa Park. And that's something that I really want to see. You know, whether you think certain things that teams do are a little bit tin pot, I do think the atmosphere has to improve at Villa Park. I think you always get that first 5 to 7 minutes into a game where it's really good, the chants are going, and then sometimes we go 1-0 down and it goes a bit flat. Okay, fair enough. I understand that we've gone 1-0 down, that the expectation has, it's gone down a bit, but I want to see a bit more. I want to see it being intimidating. I want to see us, you hear people on social media say that their best away days are Villa Park for the atmosphere, and I want us to get back to that. And one thing that I do think may improve the atmosphere a little bit is maybe some flags. When I look at Newcastle and I look at Liverpool, they've got the big flags, and I think maybe we can replicate something like that in the Holte End, where we've got big flags before the game, the atmosphere's getting there, and everybody's getting up for the game. And I think having that start will then improve the atmosphere a little bit as well. So that's just an idea that I've got. It's something I'd like to see. Let me know, Villa fans, your thoughts on that. But I think that's an area where we can improve on a little bit. Moreno has done his first interview as a Villa player. He spoke about his ambition and the ambition of him as a player to want to win, to want to succeed. And I know a lot of you have been saying who is signing the players at Aston Villa. Well, we now know that Unai Emery contacted Alex Moreno about coming to Aston Villa. So it was Emery that contacted Moreno to start with. And he's very, very excited about the project. Emery wanted him, and he feels like Emery can count on him. He wants to win and to deliver. And he spoke about how difficult it's been facing Unai Emery sides in the past. And then there was a question about, what are you, Moreno? What type of player? What can the Villa fans expect? And he spoke about being a team player. He doesn't like to lose, which is a massive trait that we need. We need more of those players at Aston Villa that do not want to lose. He spoke about being ambitious, that he's fast, he likes to attack, he likes to get to the byline, he likes to take players on 1v1, and he likes to run into space. And he's excited about already playing, and he spoke about, he already wants to be involved in the squad, he wants to be there. So I think he's ready to come into Aston Villa and start playing games. And he's also spoke about getting Aston Villa as high as we can. And then he's also spoke about getting Villa into Europe, which is the narrative of Emery and what we are all about. If you don't have ambition, you may as well pack up shop and not bother. So for me, saying all the right things. It's an exciting one. Looking forward to seeing him playing. The Villa fans, let me know your reaction to the Unai Emery press conference and everything that I have discussed on this episode. Up the Villa!